Hey guys, J0, how you doing? All right, we are building the pen for the pheasants. Whenever the pheasants get to be, almost a full-grown bird, before we put them out here, what we'll do is we'll have them in that brooder box until they get too big for it, and then we'll move them out into one of the grow-out pens that we usually use for rabbits. That'll keep them up off the ground, keep everything away from them until they get their adult feathers, start coming in, and then we'll move them out to the pen here to what we're building. So what I did is at the back of the shed here, I just built a couple of pretty large boxes, nest boxes. I attached that piece of wood, attached the boxes to the wood, and then I attached the wood to the shed. And then we ran, we found on sale some of this 2x4 inch welded wire fence. So we put a couple T-posts in and we ran it around this section here. This is probably 10 foot wide this way, 10 foot wide by probably 12 foot long this way, because we plan on trying to keep probably 4 hens and a rooster to make our pheasants for next year. We're going to try to incubate them, the eggs, and hatch the eggs out. But it's my understanding that we're going to only get maybe 1 or 2 clutches of eggs a year, since they are a game bird and they're not necessarily like always on nest laying. I don't know. I'm learning as we go along, and we'll do the best we can. And we got our gate right here, just a gate that I built out of some scavenged, some old pallet wood. Put a gate together, got some scavenged hinges off of an old door for the hinges, and use staples, the staples for steeple staples, the like the horseshoe nails, what do you want to call them, to attach the fencing. And now what we're going to do is we're going to run chicken wire across the bottom here. Let me get around over here on this side, I can show you. You see, I've got that 3-foot chicken wire. What we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. That way we'll have about a foot or so against the bottom of the fence, and then we'll lay the rest of it out this way, and then we'll kind of mat it down and put some old tent stakes or something in the ground to keep it down. That way nothing can come in and try to dig underneath the fence. They'll hit wire, but I'll show you that as we go along here. We're going to start it out up there, we'll attach it to the building, and then we'll stretch it around the bottom of the fence here on the outside of it. That way it keeps everything from digging in. So that's what we're going to do around the bottom. And then around the top over there is the old trampoline, the jumping material, whatever, I don't know what it's called. But you got a trampoline frame and the kids jump on the black part. Well, that's the black part of the trampoline, and we're going to use that to stretch over the top here as a cover. Just because, that way I don't have to buy any more bird netting or fence or anything like that to put over the top of the fence. That'll make it a nice cover for cover the whole top of the pen. That'll keep some shade off of them. It'll keep the snow and stuff off the winter time. And then I've got some 2-foot sections that we trimmed off of the back porch of roofing that we're going to attach to that board right there on the building, and that way they'll have a roof over this part of the pen. But we'll show you all that when we get done. So let me get back after it. Can't be lazing around all day talking to the camera. So I'll give you an update here in a little bit. Okay guys, what we're using on the bottom is just these little thin tent stakes. We'll put some every once in a while here on the bottom. I put some down on the end to secure it. You see we got this chicken wire folded in half. That way if anything comes up here and tries to dig underneath the fence, they got all this chicken wire that they got to try to dig through, and they're not going to be able to do it. And we're just going to wire this chicken wire up to these poles and up to the fence every so often to secure this to the fence, so that way they're not going to be able to dig anything. Nothing's going to be able to dig underneath and get to it. So this is what we're doing with the chicken wire, and we'll show you when we get done with the chicken wire what it looks like. Okay guys, you can see here how the chicken wire is going to look. You can see how we got it, about half of it onto the bottom of the fence and the other half coming through. Now whenever you're working on a hill and going around corners and stuff, you're going to have to sometimes make cuts. See how I made that cut right there, so that the chicken wire will go ahead and continue to lay flat. And we'll just take some of them little tent stakes or some sticks or whatever we can find, just to push those down into the ground to secure them to the ground until the weeds and the grass starts growing up through it, and that'll help it stay down as well. The grass mat and stuff like that growing up through it will keep it down and secure it into place. So every once in a while when you're going around corners, you may have to trim a little bit, snip a little bit at the bottom to keep it laying flat. But you do what you got to do to keep everything safe and secure. So that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like all around the whole bottom of the pen. And then all we got left to do is a little bit of work on the gate. I think I was going to put some chicken wire on the gate or some of that fencing right there, and then we'll put that black mat cover over the top of it, and then put the roofing on, and we'll be ready to rock and or roll. So once we get this other part on here, then we'll catch up with you. So we'll see you in a little while. Okay guys, you can see I just took some pieces of chicken wire here and stapled them up to my little gate that we made out of pallet wood. We took this old trampoline frame, or this old trampoline bouncy part, whatever it's called, the black thing here, and it still mostly had all these little eyes on it to where the springs hooked onto the frame. So we just wired them to the top piece of this fence here, and then I took a 8 foot 1x3, and onto the bottom I just screwed a little piece of plywood to make it flat. And then onto the top, I just stapled an old rusty cake pan. I think those are 9-inch cake pans or something like that. Now the theory is, this is going to prop this up, so we'll see how well it works. It may be a great idea. Maybe another J-Null epic fail, I guess we'll see. There we go. Get this propped up. That makes it a little teepee effect. I will probably run a couple of strings from these eyes right here. Running some strings, I'll put some screws in over here. Run them over to here to keep it kind of tight. And I'll just run strings all around to kind of tighten it up and give us that little dome effect that we want. But it should be good enough to keep birds in and critters out by the time we get done with it. And we'll show you the finished product. We'll go around in any place where it lifts up a little bit more than this, and we'll wire it down to the top of the fence to keep it as secure as we can. This will provide some shade. This will provide rain and snow runoff, and hopefully we'll keep them from flying out and away from our freezer, which is a bad thing. So there we go, the old trampoline, pie pan, a piece of plywood, and I like it so far. I think it's gonna work. It's gonna serve the purpose. We've got a little bit more tightening up to do, but we'll get that done here directly, and then, like I say, start screwing on some roofing, put a frame over, put some of that roofing onto that side there, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow because I'm done for today. I'm tired. So we'll see you guys tomorrow when we do the rest of it. Okay guys, here we are. We got the completed pheasant pen / run, whatever it is that you want to call it. We've got our tin roofing, the scrap tin roof that we had. You can see there we built a little frame to screw that down onto. And then the front corner, or the front end of the trampoline material, we screwed it to the framework of the roof here so that it's good and secure, and if anything tries to climb up the side and get on the roof, they're still not going to be able to drop down into it. The trampoline was not quite wide enough to cover the entire pin. So you can see right here on the end, we just wired some chicken wire to the end of it and then wired it down to the fence. That way it's all enclosed and nothing is going to get out or in, hopefully. The two posts in the middle of those two cake pan posts that we made. So when we come in, we got to duck down a little bit to get into the door, but then we got room to stand up in here, and the post is holding those. And it should cover enough surface area that even with snow and weight on here, it's not gonna break. That's the reason that I did that, so that post didn't just break through that material. Gives a little more surface area, and we've got two of them, and it makes a nice, comfy enclosure that's going to keep them, for the most part, dry and in the shade and cool. There's another look at the couple of nest boxes, and if I need some more, then I can run another board over here and make another nest box over here in the corner. And then we're going to put the waterer and the feeder over here in this corner, so it's easy to get to right here by the gate. So there you go. There we have our finished pheasant pen and run. Hello ladies. So just out of recycled scrap material that we had laying around. So, like I say, I'm always saying, if I can do it, you can do it. And anytime you're dealing with wild birds, they need to have, they like to fly. They fly more than chickens do, so we need to have something to keep the birds in and the critters out. So hopefully this is going to work, and we'll keep you updated whenever we put the pheasants in here. Like I say, they'll at least have their adult feathers on them before they come out here to this big pen. So we'll keep y'all updated. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. God bless. The end. Buzz, buzz. The end.